What's up, guys? Welcome to another installment of the Game High Podcast, your place for all sports, video games, pop culture, and everything in between. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Chip, and Carlo is also here with me, as per usual. Carlo?
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Great. Some shout out to our local and international listeners for sticking with us from episode 1. And for those of you who are new, you can catch this episode as well as our previous ones on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Overcast. Also, check out our weekly content on www.gamehigh.ph.
Yep, absolutely. You guys are number one. Keep being awesome, everybody. Stay safe.
What the hell was that? Go ahead, man. Yeah.
Anyway, man, we have a very exciting show for everybody today. So, but, I'm curious to know, Chip, what's on tap for today?
Okay, well, first off, pare, summer is already here. I have been seeing, before the enhanced community quarantine that we have ourselves into right now. May mga nakikita ko that people are frolicking in the beach, going out of town trips. They're doing staycations at the very least. In other words, wala sila sa bahay. They're out there. That. I mean, I hope they're all safe after all that vacationing that they did, right?
Right.
So, but that's the point. Summer is here. I think people are just really itching to go out.
Yeah,
but
me too,
as for you too. Okay, fine. Well, ako din naman. I mean, init na init din naman ako right at home, right? But delikado pa rin eh, right? But as we continue on day plus of whatever day, I've lost track of the day. Basta it's been more than a year of us being in quarantine. Well, we're at least very grateful to have some sports events to be continuing on, diba? Particularly the ongoing NBA regular season, which is going to end in a month and a half. No, the regular season is about to end in a month and a half. There is the ongoing NCAA tournament, the March Madness. We're down to the Final Four. And what other? Well, there are a few more professional sports leagues that were able to resume their operations, at least in the States, diba? So the NHL is on its full blast. The MLB, Major League Baseball, it's on its first week.
Oh, really?
The NFL,
okay.
Well, they're in the off season. NFL's in the off season. They'll be back in August. And the commissioner Roger Goodell already announced that they're expecting fans to be in the stadiums by the coming season. So we're gonna take a look at that. Diba?
Sounds like US sports is also is already some I would say pretty stable, no?
Well, European sports naman are still pretty stable. The English Premier League, diba? It's still ongoing.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
But I think there are other professional sports naman, Carlo, that are ongoing pero walang fans. So that's like the status quo for now, diba? I mean,
I think
the situation's not getting any better, but people are trying to move on with their lives.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Situations are also probably different everywhere, right? I mean, there's some our cases, right? Na hindi naman so far we're not out of the woods yet, and I think in general, right, we're still in that middle part globally, na just tipping the line, I would say, and yeah. But okay, yeah, but sounds good, and for sure, everybody priority is our safety. So
safety and health, right? That's correct. As I mentioned nga, Carlo, the NBA season would be ending in a month and a half. I think particularly May 18th is the start of the playoffs. So it's going to be an exciting one. And that's one of the few leagues, as I mentioned nga, that is staying afloat this year, diba? But tonight, well, you asked what's up, what's on tap for us today, Carlo. And we talked about this earlier, diba? We would want to throw our hats in the guessing game. We thought of sharing with you guys some of our fearless forecasts, from playoff standings to regular season awards and such, right?
Right. Cool. Are we taking any bets here? Probably the teams going to the finals or stuff like that?
I think hindi muna. I mean, the finals are way like 2 months from now. So I would like to limit it muna up until the start of the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Right? But you mentioned bets, money. Are you serious?
No. I'm thinking differently here. So let's do away with money for now, and let's make things interesting.
Okay, great. So, before we go into that, before we tell our listeners here what we are up to, let's do our high five of the week. Well, this is where we share some good vibes and sharing some positive news around. No? Well, you had your I liked your high five last time, wherein you got a new job. Congratulations again, pare.
Yep, I did. Yeah, thank you.
As for me, Carlo, my high five for this week is well, I had a very good conversation with a person that I'm working with right now. Well, as you listeners may know, I'm a headhunter, and I've been working with this person for the past 5-6 years already. I've known her for that long period of time, and I'm trying to get her, kumbaga, in a way, utang ko sa kanya na ma-please siya, ma-hire ko siya for one of our clients because we had unsuccessful attempts before. And right now, things are doing great. May traction, may positive traction kami to get her hired in a client of mine. So hopefully things would go there. But regardless, she's a good friend, and I think that's a better part of it. And one of the things that I love about my work is that I'm creating more friends and expanding my network. Diba?
Cool.
They just don't become work. Hindi lang work relationship yung meron, but nagiging personal na rin because some of these people that I have not placed, they have become my good friends. So that's my high five of the week. What about you, man?
Yeah, that's your Jerry Maguire thing in action. My high five, well, just continuing on the same strain of my high five from last week, which is, not really last week, this week. But from our last episode, I told everybody that I was starting new work. And this was my first week. I still have, my first day high, first week high. It's different, right? It's just, this is the first time, and I'm sure most people have experienced this as well for the very first time na nagkaroon ka ng onboarding, at home. Kasi usually, it's very exciting to meet other people, right? If you're especially joining a big team, or you get to, personally magha-handshake kayo in the office, but that's not happening and may not happen anytime soon. Pero I mean, it's still the same thing. Everyone naman is still connecting through Zoom. But yeah, I mean, so far so good, I would say. That's
for you, man.
That's been my highlight so far. Yeah, that's my positive vibes for everybody.
Good. I'll high five to that.
High five.
All right, cool. So here's what we'll do. We did mention about with the topic of the NBA regular season about to close in a month and a half. So we'll do our predictions on the final regular season rankings on who will be the most valuable player, the defensive player of the year, coach of the year, and rookie of the year. So those are 5 things na pag-usapan namin ni Carlo. We try to be as clear as we can, succinct as we can, summarized as we can with regard to this one. We're not going to do a blow-by-blow account like why this team, why that, and why those. Diba? We're not going to do that. So go to some highlights and we'll do. Alright?
Right. Let's do that. Okay, pero again, let's make it a point, pre, kasi for sure there will be some times na magkakaroon tayo ng same picks, right? Let's make it interesting and have different teams. We'll do our best to do our bets, but not with money. And I have a list of things for you, pre, na since we have
directly money ba to?
Oh, not directly money. Pero we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories of where we are. Yeah. So, but I also have 5 bets that we can do. So for example, finals regular season rankings, right? We'll start with that. Now, we can select from a pool of bets here that I've placed. So, I'm gonna start with the following. So, as I'm reading this, medyo nakakatawa siya. Pero here it goes. So, number 1, the first bet is, so, winner or loser, or the loser, rather, of the bet, let's have our eyebrows done. So, papa-threading tayo ng eyebrows.
I've never done this thing before, man. But
I only did it once. Sobrang sakit magpa-thread. We can either also, pay for our next car wash. So,
I don't know why you even have to think of having someone's eyebrows done, man. I don't even know why you've thought of that. Pero sige, go.
It's a thing. It's a thing, right?
It's a thing? Okay.
It's a gentleman's grooming, I don't know, and shit. So
okay, so you're saying I'm not a gentleman. Really nice, man.
We are, first of all, and that's why I'm recommending. It's more of an enhancement kind of thing. Okay?
Enhancement.
So, wait lang. Let me...
something else that rings in my head when you said enhancement. We're not gonna cut it out. But, moving on, man.
Moving on. Sige. So, next is, so we pay for each other's car wash. So, loser of the bet.
Okay.
Kung mapa-car wash natin yung kotse. So, I know you have 2 cars, right? And I have 1. So, let's deal with the specifics later.
Let's deal with the details later.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next one is, so, basic, meal of choice. Maybe except for buffets and hotel prices, right? And
first of all, buffet will not be like practical at this day and age because of where we are right now, right? Hotel price, of course, we're trying to squeeze with budget here.
I wouldn't say no to that, pero
I wouldn't say no to that either. Pero let's be real. Let's be real right now. Go on. Sige.
Let's go with the next one. The next one is sagot ko hobby mo. So I'll basically support whatever hobby that you have right now. I know that every weekend you try your best to go out and before this enhanced ECQ. I know that you are going to go off ranges and do that. And myself, being stuck at home, it's either bibilan mo ako ng something for my piano or with my cooking and stuff like that. But we'll see.
What?
And then the next
I'm not gonna buy you a 3-kilo ribeye steak. No way. But sure, we'll work out the details later.
And then the last one is, so we pick the next Zoom background for your next meeting, for your next work meeting. So,
okay, if I may enhance that next work meeting, how about let's do it for a week?
Yeah.
1 week's time. That's gonna be your background.
1 week time, your background. Siguro medyo nothing profane, no? I mean, pareho naman tayo medyo high level yung possessions. Sure. Baka magkaroon tayo ng losing of credibility.
Mademanda tayo ng di oras, di ba?
Sige, maybe we'll try to engage our listeners then. Maybe pick up background for us. We'll come up with a short list of images that we can use.
Okay.
And then once we have that, that's the one that we either use for our backgrounds. We'll make sure that we filter it.
It's gonna be fun.
We'll make sure we filter it that nobody comes up with something profane or anything insulting, something funny. I would say would be the limit.
Anything R-rated. Basta as long as it is appropriate for work meetings, that would still elicit a laugh, siguro. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not something that could get the both of us fired.
Kasi guys, mga trabaho lang naman yung pinag-uusapan namin dito. No? So.
Yeah, konting pagka-decente din naman. Sige. Kahit pa paano.
Sige, so we'll leave that to the fans, to our audience for the Zoom background. So the details will be hammered out at a later time. So let's hammer out yung details ng bet. Okay? So each category, right, we have 5. So kunyari, we'll be going with choosing the MVP. If you win, you will pick, or whatever category that we're going to be going into today. You'll pick from one of the bets, and then it's either one wins and one loses. Of course, that's how bets work. And then we do that. Okay, so yun yung parang magiging format of today's engagement.
Sure.
So details. Okay, so eyebrow thing. Let's start with that. So threading lang. Simpleng threading lang. This is not erasing the whole eyebrow thing. Just leaving one or both. Just simple threading. This is my suggestion. Are you good with that?
Whatever that is, sure. As long as it's not gonna take out the entire eyebrow. Or eyebrows.
Well, we're not going near that pace anyway. So we're both good. So car wash. So ito medyo we have to just be aligned. So you have 2 cars, I have 1. So what's gonna work here is probably pag ako nanalo, you will pay for my car wash twice. Pag ikaw nanalo, then obviously I will have to pay for
whichever, right? Pay 2 car washes.
Okay.
Yun naman, paying 2 car wash sessions.
So we're in agreement with that. Next is, so ito yung medyo hindi tayo magkakatalo kasi both you and I are foodies. So meal of choice. So nothing, siguro nothing pricey, pero we'll have to come up with a max amount.
Siguro yung maximum amount na lang din, 'di ba?
So what number do you have in mind?
I don't know, 1K?
1K? Yeah.
1K, 1.5? In that range. I think we'll need to establish that later on na lang.
So maximum na siguro yung 1.5.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sige. All right. So I think that the last thing in our list here is sagot ko hobby mo. So what I'm suggesting is ako ang hingin ko lang is siguro Steam credits. Let's just pattern it after, let's say same nung meal price around 1,000. That's going to buy me enough games naman din. Especially with the new games coming out.
That could serve as a fee for a trainer at the driving range. So yeah.
So what's fair? What's fair? What are you thinking that's fair?
Oh yeah, I mean we could settle for a price. Let's take it off time.
Sige. So that's it, everybody. We have our bets in place. So it's gonna be interesting. And for sure,
I think Carlo, I think ang mangyayari naman dito, let's say if we are, kasi one category is the entire finals playoff rankings, diba? So we're going to tally that, accumulate it, tapos sa mangyayari kung sino manalo doon, West and East, Western and Eastern conferences, kung sino yung pinaka-swak doon, according dun sa actual rankings, that person gets to choose kung saan sa mga bets na sinabi natin, diba? And then so on and so forth. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Rookie of the Year. So those are 5 categories.
So whoever comes closest, right? If we do get lucky and get the kunyari pinaka-accurate or precise results, then better, right? Pero kung ganon, we will be seeing it. So, but for sure...
Pero I think ang mangyayari dito, Carl, there is a potential, I think with the Western and Eastern Conference playoff rankings, there is someone going to win that. Merong chance talaga na may manalo doon.
Yeah,
diba? But when it comes to the MVP, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, if none of our players get picked, I think the closest would be someone siguro based on votes. Baka, for example, I picked LeBron. But LeBron wasn't judged MVP. Yeah, we'll rely on the rankings na lang din. Okay, got it. Yeah, simple as that.
Alright, so but for sure, everyone listening, please make sure that you are following our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. So to get to, siguro antabayanan na lang kung ano yung mangyayari dito sa bets namin. So because Chip and I have agreed that we will be posting pictures or anything, documenting everything that we have agreed on tonight, and make sure that we share that with everyone kung ano yung mga bets na yan. Okay, sige. So with that done, let's go ahead with, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start off, Chip, because I know you have some picks already. Do you want to start with the season standings?
Yeah, probably can start with the season standings, Western and Eastern. I already have my list here. Do you have yours? You have yours na, diba?
I have here. I'm ready.
Good.
Let's go.
All right. So 1 to 8, because I know meron pa ditong, diba, I nakwento ko sa'yo one time, Carlo, diba, that the NBA has a different approach now when it comes to the ending of the regular season. At the start of the playoffs is not automatically 1 to 8, diba? 1 to 8 teams per conference. What the NBA did is that they decided to have the 9th and the 10th highest ranked team to have a sort of play-in tournament with the 7th and the 8th highest. Okay. So basically para mangyari step ladder yan, right? So it's going to be like 7 versus 8 and 9 versus 10. Winner of 7 versus 8 automatically gets the 7th spot in the rankings.
Right.
Tapos, so si loser ng 7-8 will face the winner of the 9 and 10. So, and the winner of that one will get the 8th spot in the playoffs. Okay. So may konting, I think that would generate some certain interest.
Maybe
giving
drama,
the 9 and 10, giving the 9 and 10th, 9th and 10th teams a chance, diba? Para makahabol, so to speak.
Correct.
But we're going to just take a look at the 1 to 8, meaning ito na talaga. I mean, wala na, tapos na yung play-in na yan. Okay?
Kasi, kumbaga, after those things happening, yun na talaga yung 8 na yun, right?
Yeah, essentially, para, ito na nangyari na yun. Okay, tapos na. And then, ito yung mismo yung pag-usapan natin na fearless forecast natin.
Diba? Sige. The thing is, okay, sige, let's go ahead with the lists. Let's start with you. Pero siguro for quick comment lang for those who are not familiar, is this a different thing that they're doing right now, the NBA? Or is that something that they have done? Yung sinasabi mong step ladder?
No, it's yung play-in tour. No, I think this is the first time that they did this. I think they took took a cue from the last year's NBA playoff bubble in Orlando, wherein parang some teams outside the top 8 can still get a chance to be in the playoff hunt. Because it's kind of a modification lang that they did, taking the cue from last year, I think. But I think this can actually help prolong the NBA season, diba? Because the NBA already shortened the regular season from 82 games to 72 games this year. Largely due to the COVID situation, wherein the schedule na nga has been moved.
Right.
Because before the pre-pandemic, during pre-pandemic, the NBA started in October with preseason and regular season games, and they end the regular season in early to mid-April. No,
right.
And then they have their playoffs from mid-April to June. So that assumes that assuming na all first round, second round, third round, and championship round go to the distance, meaning lahat ng 7-game schedule. So that would take 2 full months of April to June, or mid-April to mid-June.
Correct.
So, yun. But because of the COVID thing, the league shut down its operations middle of March, early mid-March last year. And then they only resumed in August, I think. Tapos, natapos yung NBA, so that was the bubble, regular season bubble, and then the playoffs came. And up to the championship round, it ended in October. And then quick draft in November. After the draft, they had free agency market. So medyo mabilis yung pangyayari. From the middle up to the last part of 2020. Hence, nagkaroon ng modifications with the 72-game regular season.
So it's a new thing, kumbaga. It's a new thing.
Yep,
okay.
It's a new thing.
Sige.
Okay.
All right, let's jump straight into it. I think we mentioned the word lists for a number of times already. Okay, Eastern Conference. Let's start with the East. Eastern
Conference let's start
first.
with the East.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I got my number 1, the Brooklyn Nets. They're very loaded right now after the buyout season. They got 7 quality superstars, I would say. At the most, 7 quality superstars yan. And then you have a very good 8-man down to the 12th man on in the bench. So they're looking pretty solid right now. I have them at number 1. Number 2, the Milwaukee Bucks. I think currently they're at number 3, but I have them moving up at number 2 because of the player movements that they also did during the middle before the trade deadline. So they have really solidified their team that they're revolving around Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
So Milwaukee's my number 2. Number 3 is Philadelphia. Silang Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia, they are the top 3 teams, and medyo may konting distance sila with the rest of the Eastern Conference, no? So feeling ko sila lang yung maglalaro sa tatlo, but those are my top 1 to 3. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. Then I have Miami at number 4. Currently, they are at 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Pero I just have a feeling because with the movements that they have, that they did, they did not lose some key players to other teams during the trade deadline. They're currently at number 6, but I see them surging up to the in the ladder. They are my number 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Atlanta, who's currently sitting at number 5. I have them still sitting at number 5 by the end of the regular season. Their coaching change of Nate McMillan, it reaps some benefits for them. That's the main thing. That's one major thing that they did, and it greatly affected them in a positive way. And then you have Charlotte, who's currently number 4. And I think the injury to LaMelo Ball could affect them in the second half of the season. I have them at number 6. And ito wild card to. Because right now they are not in the playoff picture. But I have the Chicago Bulls finishing 7th in the East.
Right.
I'm kind of pulling. It's a wild card. It's a long shot. But I love what they did nung nag-trade sila to get Nikola Vucevic from Orlando. They plucked him from there. So, and that was a good move for them. That, if not for this season, probably in the long term. I like that move, but maybe they're not gonna waste any time for this one. Coach Billy Donovan, he's holding his own, and he's actually doing a better job than what the Bulls had in the past few years with an ex-coach. So I have them at number 7, and then number 8, the New York Knicks.
Right.
I know they're a very good team right now. Currently, they are at 7th. But I see them hanging on and going through the playoff, the play-in tournament, and I think that they're going to settle with 8th spot.
Right. Okay.
The Bulls would at 7th. That would mean they would surge in the play-in tournament, probably a 10th or 9th team. But I see them pulling off some surprises come the play-in tournament. So yeah, that's something. Oh yeah, no, sorry, hindi pala sa play-in tournament. Basta not 9th and 10th, but they might pull some surprises and be at the 7th spot kasi yun nga, they'll have a play-in for the 7th and the 8th with the 7th and 8th team. Pero yeah, pulling off some surprises, they'll be the 7th seed the way I see it.
Okay.
What's yours? What's your list, Carlo?
No, so let's just sum that a bit muna. So your East list, so it's Brooklyn, Milwaukee.
My East is Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, and New York.
Okay, cool. Mine is, so we kind of medyo iba. So my predictions are, just to name them all first, Milwaukee is number 1. Second would be Brooklyn. Philly would be 3rd. So I think that's where we are the same. Miami would be on the 4th one for myself. Atlanta next, that's 5th. Charlotte is 6th, and then dito tayo I think nagkaroon ng difference eh. So I'm shifting it up a bit. So New York will be my number 7, and then Chicago would be And the reason
okay,
why...
so medyo pareho tayo. Sorry about that, but
in the middle.
Pareho tayo with regard to the middle.
In the middle.
Right, Miami, Atlanta, and Charlotte. Okay,
correct.
Okay.
So,
and then you just switch New York and Chicago.
Correct. The reason why is, so with Chicago kasi, they're a young team, to be honest with you right now. They're very young, and I'm not sure if they lack superstars or wala silang, they don't have any James Hardens or Kyrie Irvings.
Okay, so wala silang, I mean, you don't see Zach LaVine in that level just yet.
Oo, kasi, well, me, playing 2K21 and watching their games, yung laro ni Zach LaVine he is definitely the main contributor to the team, right? The reason why lang, if I'm looking at the overall chemistry ng team, I see them like a college team eh. So parang, again, no big names. They have talent. So I think ito yung time nila for them to shine. For a young team na scrappy, and then, they have somewhere in the middle. And, the playoffs can surprise us. We have seen that a lot naman when it comes to the playoff games. You don't know. Baka feeling mo, they can go forward to the next round and so on. So that's my considerations for at least my bottom list. For my top list, or the top end of my list, which is, Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Si Milwaukee lang kasi, that's why I'm seeding them high, number 1, is because sa kahalimawan ni Antetokounmpo. That's basically it. They're currently, their standings right now is around 31-17. Yung win streak nila is around 2 games right now. And if they just continue that pace, I just hate lang that yung inconsistency nila sometimes affects their
that affected them.
Yeah, go ahead.
That affected them especially at the start of the season when I think they were still trying to figure things out. Chris Middleton wasn't really the Chris Middleton all-star that we saw before.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew Holiday still adapting to the situation or to the rotation or how it is. He's a different player. He has a different role now kasi compared to when he was in New Orleans. So, yeah, I see what you mean. But, they were able to surge. They were able to have that surge and be in the top 3. Diba sabi ko nga sa'yo, malaki yung distance nila Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and ni Milwaukee right now to the rest of the Eastern Conference pack.
Diba? Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I get where you're going.
And then yung number 1 ko, and the reason why medyo may doubts lang ako with Brooklyn rather. With Brooklyn not really, clinching the number 1 spot in the East. Kasi I've seen this historically, pre, and I'm not sure if you're gonna agree with me na sometimes pag overloaded yung team mo with a lot of superstars. And ako, siguro when I was doing my, when I was watching games in the NBA, pagdating sa mga teams na, right? And I didn't know that, James Harden was actually already part of the Nets. And then they have Kevin Durant, they have Kyrie Irving, yung front court nila and back court is actually very diverse still and very deep. We have Blake Griffin, we have DeAndre Jordan. So, alam mo yun, talent-wise, they're okay. They're good. No, there's no question about it. Pero, these are big personalities. And I'm talking about siguro yung within the team itself, yung parang team dynamics. Na, well, there's going to be several formulas na may big three ka, like happened in the 80s, then may Larry Bird, may McHale, and then may Parrish. And then the current setup ngayon, at least the big three na talaga that is already standing out is yung sa Boston Celtics, yung panahon nila Garnett, ni Rondo, and ni Ray Allen.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, I'm sorry. And Paul Pierce. So, ito, I mean, this is just me being stoic and being, cynical about a lot of superstars in the team. But sooner or later, it will implode. And most of them have, playoff experience. But we'll see. Yun lang yung doubts ko. That's why, si Brook.
Hindi sila magta-top seed.
That's why the Nets are not going to be my top seed. So, just to repeat, my list is Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Philly, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, and New York and Chicago. So, that's my East line.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Wait, how do we break the tie with... Kasi may pareho tayong team. 4, 5, 6, we have the same teams there. How do you break the tie there?
What do you suggest? My suggestion is we go down from the list. So kung yung number 1 natin is different, that's where we break the tie. So kunyari Brooklyn yung number 1 mo, pero I won by predicting correctly na si Milwaukee yung nag-number 1, then that's where we break the tie. And then if there's like a lot of differences, that's where we can siguro take it offline and maybe just talk about it. But that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, sige. We'll think of it how to break the tie. Yeah. But that's our list, guys.
Yep,
that's for the East. Let's talk about the West.
Right.
You start with your West with your Western Conference rankings.
Cool. My West rankings, number 1 would be Portland. Very
okay.
Parang may naririnig na ako dyan. Portland would be number 1. So, ano yun?
I'm curious with that, but go on.
Okay.
I'm just curious. Go on.
Portland is going to be my number 1. Utah would be 2nd. Denver, LA, Lakers would be 3 and 4 respectively. Phoenix is number 5. No disrespect, bro. I know you're a big Phoenix fan.
Yeah, okay.
6 will be Golden State. And my last one would be no. Sorry, in between. After Phoenix, that would be the Clippers. That's where number 7 would be. 6 would be. And then Golden State and then Dallas would be my 8.
Okay.
Dallas, alam kong, and just to take my time here, Dallas, alam kong this is led by they're relying heavily on Luka Doncic. And they did that. I saw that from last year. Na they had a good playoff run. However, they weren't just able to sustain it. I think they're gonna have the same issue when they go into the playoffs. And with them completing the regular season, it would be a struggle for them to meet the 8th seed. Ang kalaban siguro ng Dallas siguro with the standings right now with the Western Conference, and this will be a siguro sobrang sobrang madrama na pwede mangyari, which is if let's say the Spurs or Grizzlies, from one point of time to the next, bigla sila magkaroon ng good run, pwede pa sila ma-overtake ito. So it would be a thin line for me for the Mavs. But for my top list, so nagkaroon ka na ng doubts with Portland. The thing is,
I'm surprised you mentioned Portland. They haven't been the top team in the West for as long as I can remember. That they've never ever had that 1 seed. Yeah, for I think a long time already. I mean, even when they had their championship back in 1977, I think, against New Jersey. That was Dr. J versus Bill Walton. I don't recall, well, because I wasn't even born yet. That's why I don't recall it. I don't know if they were even a 1 seed at that time. And even the years after that, when they reached the NBA Finals in 1990, yeah, in 1990 against Detroit, I don't think they were number 1 then. When they reached the 1992 NBA Finals against Chicago, I don't recall if they're also a 1 seed then. Pero yeah, what's with what's your take as to why you think Portland is your top seed?
Yeah, currently, si Portland is seated at the 6th seed right now, or at least 6 possessions sila ngayon in the West. The thing about this is, I just needed to see that consistency for them to move forward. And I'm not, and medyo long shot to be honest for me to have them end at number 1. So, feeling ko dito ako medyo matatalo. But the thing is, gutom tong mga to especially Lillard. He had several chances. And
the hunger factor.
He is leading the team right now. I am not too crazy about Melo being there because Melo is like, parang lang siya supporting cast lang siya kumbaga at this stage. Pero McCollum, Nurkic, Kanter, I would say also medyo okay naman din yung bench nila. Pero it's a parang I see it as a enhanced version of Chicago. Kumbaga. And if that consistency and yung parang gutom nila to really prove that they want to be finals materials is something that's gonna propel them probably to a first seed ban lang. Siguro medyo medyo long shot siya prediction on my end. Pero the way I've seen them, I have been seeing them playing, or rather, the way I have seen them play so far is, they're gonna get there. Hopefully, gonna get there.
Okay. I think. Yeah, I mean, I would like to correct myself. Thank you, Internet, for letting me take a look at Portland back in the 92 playoffs. They were number one. They were the number one seed in the 1992 NBA playoffs.
Drexler days
and it was also Drexler, yeah. Clyde the Glide led that team all the way to the NBA Finals to face Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Yeah. So, yeah, Portland was the number one seed at that time.
Yep.
So, yeah, go on.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have it's going to be 29 years. 29 years after that 1992 NBA playoffs run. And, yeah, I agree na medyo gutom yung factor as to why, Lillard would definitely try to prove the haters wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He led the team to a third seed finish a few years ago, only to be swept out of the first round. In that playoffs, and that year's playoffs, I forget which one it was. Pero yeah, Lillard was able to lead Portland already past the first round. I think it's just a matter of proving them wrong again, diba? And right now he's one of the top MVP, candidates, which we'll talk about later. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, sige.
But yeah, go on with your list.
No. So that's me. So that's Portland, Utah, Denver, LA Lakers, Phoenix, Clippers, Golden State, and then Dallas. So more than likely, and I already saw your list, right? Utah is probably going to be number one the way they've been playing.
Yeah, I did mention to you. I mentioned to you that because that's why I kind of reacted when you said Portland. So yeah, my list naman, I got Utah staying number one. I mean, they're currently the number one seed right now. They're currently sitting at a 37-11 win-loss record. Pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. It's something that many did not see coming because people were priming about the Lakers being a more dominant team again. I mean, sure, LeBron and AD, and then plus, diba? But I have Utah staying at number one. I got the Denver Nuggets at number 2. And currently
they're currently
Pero I think the reason why I see Denver, I think they're going to peak at the right time. Okay. They had a good mid-season trade when they acquired Aaron Gordon from Orlando. And they did not lose. They only lost Gary Harris, who's kind of a non-factor already. Okay. For Denver, with his injuries, with his poor play, it was all about Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and I see that tandem moving forward along with the other guys. They did it last year. They had a good run last year, and they want to prove it again that they can do it for the second straight year. That's why I have them sitting at number 2 by the end of the regular season. I have Portland at number 3. Yeah, nasabi ko na rin sa'yo, nag-agree din ako. Hunger factor. They got a good supporting cast. They have a good supporting cast to surround Damian Lillard. You got CJ McCollum. Carmelo Anthony is also a very good support right now. He's acclimatized himself into that role perfectly. To the point that, even he's still mellow. He is still Carmelo Anthony, right? And he is still a very good asset on offense. He is offensively, yes. Defense, I think that's, you have Terry Stotts, the coach. Terry Stotts is gonna take care of that team defense there. But we'll see. And CJ McCollum is now back. Let's see where Portland heads now. But I have them at the 3rd seed. 4th seed, currently Phoenix is at number 2 in the actual standings. I see them in being a 4th seed. Personally, this is a preference. This is a preference that I would like them to be in the 4th seed rather than potentially in the 2 or 3. Because okay. I think that they're going to have some hiccups heading into the playoffs. I mean, they would still be around. They would still be around they would still be in the playoff hunt. They would still be in they would still be in the position hunt, I would say, in the playoffs. Pero feeling ko may mga hiccups dyan. Because one thing is, most of their remaining games, which are going to be played on the road, meaning they are going to be the visitors. So it's going to be home court. It's not, well, all throughout the season naman, home court has not been much of an advantage because there are fewer fans compared to the yesteryears, di ba?
Even that they're currently at least yung win streak nila is at 5. You're still seeing them at the end of the season at 4. Okay. And
I think the road schedule, the away schedule for Phoenix is going to be a tough challenge for them. Precisely because they're going to be on the road. They're really not going to enjoy the comforts of their home court in Arizona, which they have usually spent already. Pero to think though that they have a 16-6 record on the road, and they have a not so good record when it comes to the home record, which is 18-18. But nonetheless, they have 6 losses
exactly
on the road. So
that's what I said. Yeah.
But in second half of the season, where playoffs are, where teams are really going to position themselves and trying to get the best spot available. So that's where I see Phoenix. I'm just being realistic here, and I don't want them to be in the 2 or the 3. Right now, why? Because I see them facing the Los Angeles Clippers, who would be in the 5th seed come playoff time, and I think that's going to be a good matchup for them, for Phoenix. We'll talk about how it could go. Pero masakit yan sa akin. But yeah, I see the Los Angeles Clippers securing the 5th seed. 6th seed is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. I think by that time, you will see a full, healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who are currently sidelined with their respective injuries. I don't see them hitting the panic button right now. Because both of them are sidelined, LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're both sidelined. I don't see them hitting the panic button right now. Kung tutusin, I think they're just really trying to prolong the rest of LeBron and AD, because come playoff time, pukpukan na yan eh. That would really be, that's what matters for them.
Okay.
LeBron has been there many playoffs already. He knows
gaano
katindi ang bakbakan sa playoffs. So he's really going to take all the time to rest. Sure, his injury could be real. High ankle sprain is no joke. And same with AD. I think it's a hamstring injury. I forget what it is. Pero again, these guys need their bodies to recuperate. And right now, they have a very good supporting cast naman. And I think that's going to be they really need their supporting group to step up with AD and LeBron in the sidelines, kasi they need to hang around the playoffs. They don't want to be in the 7 or 8 to have a play-in again, a play-in tournament, diba? Kasi those are extra games. But I see them really just hanging around in lane and then finishing at the 6th spot. Number 7, I have, same as yours, the Golden State Warriors and as the 7th seed. As well as, pareho tayo, 7th and 8th seed, Golden State and Dallas. Now, I have some friends who are diehard Mavs fans, so it's not a hit on them that I see Dallas being 8th seed. It's just that it's Luka and the rest, and that's it, right? I don't see. Well, sure. Hopefully, the JJ Redick acquisition could actually compensate for what they lost when they let go of Seth Curry in the offseason. He's a shooter, very good defender, a younger brother of Stephen Curry, who has a good basketball IQ also, just like his older brother Steph. And nawala yun. That was pivotal. They didn't have shooters outside Stephen Curry and Doncic, they do have Max Kleber, who's sure a fringe big man who can hit it from the outside. But, sino bang big man na hindi ngayon na tumatres masyado, di ba? So, but yeah, it's Luka, and sure, I hope Josh Richardson should come around by that time. And hopefully, Kristaps Porzingis could be at full strength, fully healthy. But still, a fully healthy Dallas team, it has been an inconsistent thing this season. So yeah, they would be the final team in the West spot for me. Yeah. Okay, just to recap, I have Utah number 1, number 2 is Denver, number 3 is Portland, number 4 is my Phoenix Suns, number 5 is the Los Angeles Clippers, number 6 is LA, the Lakers, the LA, number 7 is Golden State, number 8 is Dallas.
Well, surprising yung list mo din. I mean, on the flip side, kasi si LA, you're not seeing them as a, siguro kasi hindi naman sila ganun ka hungry right now, having just won last year. Pero, I mean, it's still a contender, I would say, going into the playoffs and then the finals eventually. Okay, let's so that's the list for Chip and I, for both East and West conferences. Let's move forward with our individual awards, right? So we're not covering everything.
Yeah, well, let's start with let's start with the Rookie of the Year, since yun naman yung well, not the grandest individual award for the season, but yeah, the grandest individual award for all the rookies. Who is your Rookie of the Year?
You know what, pre? May confession ako dito. So I'm not that familiar with any of the rookies right now. I know LaMelo Ball is a big name, or in the top running for Rookie of the Year. And I'm again, my pick would be Emmanuel Quickly from the New York Knicks.
Emmanuel Quickly.
The thing is, siguro he's not that far off from the voting, or siguro yung ranking niya, kumbaga. However, I see him as parang a cog na the Knicks is really utilizing right now. That's why they have that parang run that they can go forward with when they go into the playoffs. So, I like his I like his playing style. I think for a young guy, medyo meron siyang parang sense of what it means to be in a parang at least a playoff contending team, right? So yeah, that's my pick. That's my pick for
New York.
Rookie of the
Year. Okay, that I'm surprised. Got that. Okay, my Rookie of the Year would have to be the number 1 pick of the draft, Anthony Edwards. He's not injured right now, as far as I'm concerned. He has been on and off, but he is going to be the future of Minnesota basketball. With LaMelo Ball, if LaMelo Ball is not injured, then he is my Rookie of the Year.
Right.
But because LaMelo is now injured, for me, it's going to be a two-way race between Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton of Sacramento. But I'm choosing Anthony Edwards because he has more playing time. He's getting more spotlight. Sacramento has more weapons than Minnesota. It shows naman in the standings na labang si Sacramento kay Minnesota. And Anthony Edwards can have all his time this season to showcase his talent, and I think he's really going to gun for that Rookie of the Year, considering that they absolutely have no playoff chances.
And you're
have no chances whatsoever to reach the playoffs this season.
Okay. Is it too is it too crazy of us not picking Ball right now?
He's injured.
Interesting.
Period. He is injured. Yung injury niya is actually going to sideline him, I think, for the majority of the regular season. And that's going to be
May factor yun, no?
Yes, well, he's actually expected to miss the rest of the season, but he was really balling. I mean, pun intended. He is really balling this season. That's why, for me, yun nga, pag hindi siya na-injured, hindi siya nagkaroon ng injury, he's my vote for Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. It just so happened that his injury will really sideline him for the rest of the year, and yun nga, it would be, it's going to hit the Hornets' chances to stay where they are at fourth. Mm-hmm. And that's why I have them even go down to 6 because of LaMelo Ball missing the rest of the regular season.
Sige. So that makes sense for me. All right. So those are interesting picks, right? With Ball out of the picture in the meantime. Quickly for me, and then that's going to be Anthony Edwards for Chip. Pero before we move forward, I think we haven't settled the bets yet for yung playoff standings or end of regular season standings. So let's pick from the list kung ano yung bet na gusto natin i-take.
No, let's do that when it happens. Okay. Kasi ang mangyayari dito, Carlo, mauuna matapos of course, mauuna natin malalaman yung seeding ng West tsaka ng East. And then we would know who's the MVP, who's Coach of the Year, who's Rookie of the Year, who's Defensive Player of the Year. During the NBA Awards night, NBA Awards event that they do. So, and I think that would take place before the NBA Finals.
Okay.
So, yeah, whoever wins in the West and East rankings, we'll pick which bet to take for that one.
All right. Okay. Sige. So,
all right. So next, from Rookie of the Year, we go now to the Coach of the Year. Sige, let's do that.
You first.
Me first? Oof. Can I take 2? No, we can't take 2. I have to choose it.
Why? Well, who are you choosing from?
I'm going for Quinn Snyder, from the Utah Jazz. He is my pick for the Coach of the Year. Okay, the reason why Utah did not do like a major makeover during the offseason. Their big splash was really extending Jordan Clarkson's contract. I think he has now a 3 or 4 year extension ata. A hefty sum, but really deserving of Jordan Clarkson to be extended with that kind of contract.
Right.
I think they also added Derek Favors, who was a pivotal big man for Utah before. I think his last team was with New Orleans. And, Derek Favors can still ball. His veteran presence is going to be is ideal for the team. Pero yun your Utah only has sure, they have Mike Conley. Fine. All-star. But I forgot about Mike Conley before thinking of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, who are two, the cornerstone for Utah. And I think Gobert has really justified why he deserves that max contract that he got this offseason. So he's doing well for this team. Plus, it's a good gel that they have. You have a Donovan Mitchell and a Rudy Gobert, both players who don't have any egos whatsoever, unlike other superstars in the league who would always say, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. But, they are really working with who they have in that team. Clarkson, Royce O'Neal, Mike Conley. These are guys who are, a star in their own right. Pero they know their place in the NBA. And they know how to... Quinn Snyder has done a tremendous job of utilizing what he has right now in that Utah Jazz roster. You have some shooters like Joe Ingles and Bojan Bogdanovic. These are, and you have also Ersan Ilyasova, erstwhile Milwaukee Buck. I think they have a good collection of guys who can really work together, playing unselfish basketball, fusing both the modern day NBA of outside shooting plus inside presence. Right. And yun yung magandang mix doon. And really credit goes a lot to Quinn Snyder, who's done a tremendous job.
The thing about that is Snyder really is the parang no-brainer pick, right? If let's say the Jazz doesn't slip back within the year, he's the obvious pick talaga. And this is probably a bet that I would be losing. Kasi the way...
Because?
Yeah, no, I mean, because the way, for the reasons that we already stated. And the thing about, these kinds of picks for something that's kind of a shoe-in with someone like Quinn Snyder for the Jazz is it's really dependent on the performance, And, with the way Utah has been performing right now, obviously, siya talaga yung best pick. Because on the flip side, my pick would be Thibodeau from the Knicks. Because
really
historically, and where I'm coming from is, if I'm comparing a Thibodeau na coaching the, Chicago Bulls from the Derrick Rose, yung pre-injury, ano bang stage na?
Pre-injury Rose.
The peak Rose, kumbaga. The peak Rose, Derrick Rose days. Kung yung team na yon was, coached by Thibodeau na, focus on defense. And currently, ang Knicks right now is, they're number 2 on defense right now, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, meron silang, they have a big odds, madami silang malaking odds yung against them to be them right now. But it's all, like, it's a Thibodeau team, kumbaga. And, and the reasoning din kasi, yung placement nila with our standings then, if they continue to move forward in that pace, na, alam mo, scrappy kumbaga na ang siguro play style or coaching style ni Thibs is more on talagang scrapping for that win, compared to a more strategic like, Snyder or utilizing that kind of, anyway, I'm rambling. But the thing is, that's where I'm coming from. That's where, Thibodeau would have a chance to, snatch that away. But that's like in the possibility lang mangyari kung the Jazz, from one, kung magkaroon ng, act of God or anything that happens to them, lose the first spot, Thibodeau would be the next in line.
I think what's gonna go against you in that argument is that, New York is in the lower rungs of the playoff standing. I mean, right now they're sitting at 7th,
right?
Diba? But I kind of get where you're coming from with Tom Thibodeau comparing it to Quinn Snyder, kasi, New York doesn't have a big name superstar right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even consider Julius Randle as a big name superstar for, if I am, going to compare it to other, to a Kevin Durant or a LeBron or a Donovan Mitchell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hindi ganun eh. They're tama ka. It's like a typical Thibs team. A team of no-namers.
Right.
You play scrappy, defensive-minded, and you play as one unit. That's a Thibs team altogether.
Exactly.
Hard-nosed, and they kind of resemble what New York basketball is about. Being in the streets.
Yep.
Diba? Being in the streets. Yun yung rough and rugged type of baller. Diba? It's not something na makikita mo. Okay,
medyo.
Fine. In Pinoy language, cantable. Cantable. Diba? So, but yeah, I like that angle that you have in mind. Okay. So you have Tom Thibodeau. I have Quinn Snyder for Coach of the Year.
Next.
Good pick. Good pick yan. And I think it could go for you if the Knicks reach at least 4 or 3 in the standings. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We both have New York not in the 4th or in the 3rd spot. Diba?
So I sure hope na hindi ito yung eyebrow thread bet natin kasi masakit yan. Anyway, sige. Next is
Defensive Player of the Year. That's the 4th category that we're going to pick on.
Mm-hmm.
So I came first. You pick now. Who's your Defensive Player of the Year?
My defensive gosh, kasi ang hirap eh. I was a toss up between LeBron being LeBron, just I'm just admitting that to myself and probably for everybody listening.
LeBron James is your defensive
No.
player of the year?
It's a choose. I'm choosing between LeBron and Gobert. But if it's going to make sense for me, it's going to be Gobert. Kasi napanood ko yung progression ni Gobert from he's tall, but he's not as dominant as I would have liked when he started. And then as time progressed, medyo natagalan lang din ako sa pag-mature niya as a player, as a center. Pero this is his year. I think this is his year for him to grab that. Currently his stats shows that. And that's the reason why I'm picking Gobert over everyone else. Close again siguro if I'm just listing down all of my options right now, Draymond Green probably. Pero what really makes sense to me is Gobert. Ikaw.
You took my pick.
Did I?
So dahil ikaw na una, you actually took my. I also have Rudy Gobert kasi winning the defensive player of the year. Pero I think a good runner-up kasi that I'm thinking of. I'll change my pick.
Sige.
Siguro matatalo ako dito sa pick na to because I really see Gobert winning the defensive player of the year. He has numbers wise he is actually numbers wise he is actually one of the leaders in blocks as well as with rebounding. Kasi alam ko fina-factor in nila yung rebounding. But, take away the stats. I think his presence in the middle is something that's going for Utah also.
Right.
Utah hasn't had this kind of big man since Mark Eaton in the 1980s was a 7'3" behemoth of defensive big man. And even then, and since then, they've had like fringe big men. Greg Ostertag, Jeff Foster, Felton Spencer. I mean, those are the guys from the 90s, no? And then they had the big man later on, Memo Okur, Carlos Boozer. These guys were not even defensive players. The last defensive player candidate that they had was Andrei Kirilenko, who's not even a center. He plays small forward and he played small forward and power forward for Utah and even in Brooklyn when he went there. Pero I mean, Utah never had this, a legit big man who could really alter defenses or alter offenses with his length, with his size. He is currently number 2 in blocks even. So with almost 3 blocks a game. And I think that's also one of the reasons why Utah is really, really good at this point. No?
Right.
But I'll give you Rudy Gobert because I have an alternative to picking Rudy Gobert. That would be Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers.
Okay, so that's your pick.
Now, I understand,
Okay.
Miles Turner is my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. And I understand that Indiana is not in the playoff picture, even in actual. I don't even see them reaching the East. The East playoffs, unlike last year. Pero Miles Turner has really come into his own. I think since the bubble, since the NBA bubble that they had last year, maganda yung pinakita niya. He is really a two-way player. He can score from inside and outside, and at the same time, he is very athletic. That it actually complements and or supports rather his defensive prowess. He is actually currently leading the league in blocks with 3.5 blocks, 3.5, more or less, 3.5 blocks per game. Don't mind him in the rebounding thing, but he's not there. But at the same time, what I'm saying is, currently in the league, he's the only one who has more than 3 blocks a game. And that would really go well for him, for Miles Turner. It's too bad he's not in my fantasy list. But he's not in my fantasy teams this year, unlike before, wherein he was not as good before. No. And also he is he's doing it. He's very scrappy, almost a steal a game. So that's where he is at. So he's my vote for Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, I think that...
So your pick was Rudy Gobert. My pick is now Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, okay. Well, that kind of rounds up what we have agreed on, right? But we're missing 2 categories from the regular season awards, which is the most improved and 6 man. So are we covering that, or we're just sticking with the list?
No.
Okay.
No. I think 5 is a good number for our bet. Kasi we've already talked about our predictions for the West and East. That's 1. Then Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and now the Most Valuable Player.
We have the MVP, the last one. Okay, go ahead. So you go first.
So, do I go now?
Go first.
Okay, I go first. My MVP, well, because LeBron's injured. First of all, I'm not a LeBron fan, pero kasi kung hindi siya naging injured, if LeBron or AD weren't injured, I think they would still be at the top of the West right now. Top 2 or top 1, nag-hover lang sila dun. No? Because Utah is a juggernaut right now. But, LeBron's not my MVP for this year, even if he comes back. My MVP, my top choice for MVP would actually be Nikola Jokic.
Damn it. Okay.
That was your pick.
Yes.
Because I see a good alternative for your pick. Considering looking at
don't say it.
Looking at your West teams.
Don't say it.
Looking at your West or East teams. Actually both West, so I really have no clue whatsoever who's your alternative. But Nikola Jokic is my 2021 NBA MVP.
Regular season,
Most Valuable Player award. Yeah. Because, well, he's the anchor. He is the anchor for the Denver Nuggets. Take him away, I don't think his impact, I don't think Jamal Murray holds a bigger impact than Nikola Jokic.
Correct.
This guy can pass. This guy can score. This guy can rebound. Did I mention he can pass? Yeah, that was rhetorical. He can pass. He can defend. He is an all-around guy. And he is that. He reminds me of a young Arvydas Sabonis, who in his prime can do all of those things. When Arvydas Sabonis came to the NBA, he was already big. He was big. He lost his mobility. He lost his quickness. The passing was still there. The defense was still there. But prime Sabonis, when he was playing for the USSR, before the NBA, that was a sick Sabonis. And I see that in Nikola. And I see that in Jokic, especially into the season. And yeah, those are the reasons why, for me, Nikola Jokic is going to be the MVP for the seasons.
For me, Nikola Jokic has been really efficient this year. Comparatively, if you're looking at his numbers, 27 points, or at least in terms of averages, right? 27 points, 11 rebounds, I would say. And then for his height, na yun nga, you were saying he can pass. Boy, can he pass? I mean, have you seen his average assists? Jesus Christ. I mean, so yeah, I mean, he's kind of the runaway.
You really have to say that during Lenten season.
Well,
I know.
He's alive in a few more minutes.
You're bad.
Yeah. I'm asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, I mean,
9 assists per game, and then, yung thing, that's the thing about Jokic right now, and that's why I said, damn it, at the start when you mentioned, because you took my pick, because he's the obvious choice. Pero siguro, again, by any means necessary na magkaroon ng any disruption, my pick would be, and it's a good thing I have a second one, which is kind of the no-brainer then, would be Giannis. I would be picking Giannis. As MVP.
Okay,
right.
Fair.
And here's the thing, right? Yun yung chances din niya, or at least this year, is a different ball game for the Bucks. Comparing it from, it's not really disappointing, pero heartbreaking lang yung nangyari sa kanila last year. But yung efficiency lang him as a player as well is not as comparable as what Jokic is bringing into his team right now. Pero Giannis is Giannis. Yung halimaw na, Diyos ko kung gaano kahaba man tong guy na to na mag-dominate ng ano. And, he is, yung nickname niya is, the Greek Freak, is well-deserved. And,
Greek Freak, yeah.
And if he makes sure that he continues to have this same kind of pace within this season, he's going to be the next best thing apart from Jokic. So that's my pick for MVP.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if we are looking at the stats din naman, Giannis is scoring almost 29 points a game. He has a steal and a block per game as well, averaging more than 6 assists and really grabbing the boards.
Correct.
Almost 11.5 rebounds. I think he's the league leader. No, he's not the league leader for rebounds. Pero there's no denying that he is going to be part of that MVP conversation. I would say that's a good pick also. It's not that he is highlighted right now because parang feeling ko nagpa-fly under the radar siya. I think because he was MVP last year. I think that there's a tendency of the media that would take a look at a new MVP, so to speak, for this season. Well, so yeah, but I would agree
depending
with that,
on the efficiency, like kasi comparing him to Jokic kasi he's dominating all the stat lines right now, right? Pero it's more with what I'm thinking, Jokic kasi because he does dominate the stat lines, he has that impact, right, to the team compared to being a league leader in points, in rebounds, or whatever, compared to Giannis. I think votation will be coming into not just about the stat lines, but also yung impact that they provide to the team. Now, is the MVP if the MVP voting will be affected by how they lose or how they fare against the standings right now? Maybe, I don't know. Pero the thing is, Giannis would be still in the same thing or in the same running that he can still be nominated for MVP if there's nothing bad happens to Jokic in his performance right now. But yeah, Giannis would be my pick.
Oh God, I hope Jokic won't get injured because that would affect the Denver Nuggets.
It will.
In my list. That would affect the Denver Nuggets standings. They have them at number 2. So yeah, I really hope Nikola Jokic would stay healthy for the year. Okay, match point?
I think that's our cue to do our match point. So for this times, or at least for this episode's match point, we're not going to do any takes because we don't necessarily have takes right now. It's just that we have a lineup.
Well, we did our takes already.
We did our takes, yes.
I mean, those are our takes.
But what's important here is our predictions, which is going to be the basis of our, bets, the game high bets.
Yeah.
For this month. So let's just sum up, siguro, no, for our match point, our picks again.
Sure.
So I'll start with you. Just go ahead with your picks for the West East, your MVP, Coach of the Year, and so on. Go ahead.
Okay. My West teams from 1 to 8 are Utah, Denver, Portland, my Phoenix Suns, LA Clippers, LA Lakers, Golden State Warriors, and Dallas Mavericks.
Cool.
And then my East teams are Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, and New York. And then my MVP, my Rookie of the Year is Anthony Edwards from Minnesota. Coach of the Year is Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz. My Rookie of the Year, my Defensive Player of the Year is Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. And then my MVP is Nikola Jokic. What's your match point, Carlo?
Cool. So mine is, just to make sure everybody has gotten it, my list contains, at least for the West teams, it's Portland at number 1, Utah, Denver, the LA Lakers, Phoenix, the Clippers right after that, Golden State, and then Dallas to round up my West list. For the East teams, I have Milwaukee at the first, Brooklyn, Philly, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, New York, and Chicago. Let me start with my Rookie of the Year. I will be going with quickly from the Knicks. Coach of the Year, I'm a big Tom Thibodeau, so I hope he gets that this year. If ever nothing happens to the Jazz. And Defensive Player of the Year, thank you, Chip, for stealing my pick, but I'm going with... No, you didn't steal my pick on the defensive. I'm picking Gobert.
You stole mine!
Defensive player, but what Chip stole is the
MVP.
The MVP pick, which I was supposed to go for Jokic, but I'm going with Giannis for 2021 MVP honors. Cool. So that's our match point. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us another time. And, make sure that you are following Facebook, Instagram to see what's going to happen to us. If, let's say, our cars are going to be washed, our eyebrows going to be, clean, or, having some meal or whatever it is that the bets we are going to be settling with. Please make sure that you are following that to see what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting. And of course, guys, before we go, as always, please visit gamehigh.ph to get the latest content. Again, we have a lot of interesting articles and stuff we talked about there. Not just with the NBA, but with local sports, video games, and of course, in the in-betweens. Like movies and our picks. Of course, please make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Game High PH.
Alright, cool. And as usual, guys, if you have any suggestions, violent reactions, or basically your thoughts on our current episode, we would love to hear from you. Really, we really do. So we do. Hit us up in the comments section or message us through our Facebook and Instagram pages, right? So thank you guys for listening. This is Chip.
And this is Carlo.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you then.
Ciao.